Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Do you know what the redneck did when he found out he was being promoted from the 2nd grade to the 3rd grade? Well, he got so excited he cut himself shaving. Morning, Kate Smith, God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, I'm glad it's Thursday. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and thanks for tuning us in on a Thursday, already October 12. My goodness sakes, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with a big fall tire sale going on right now. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. You call them at 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning again.
You the man, go ahead.
I am, yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. And right now it's time for the weather, brought to you by K&R Rental. Hello, Roger and the crew. They open the doors at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're there early to serve you, and they know you're in need of all the tools and the equipment. You got to get the job done. You got to start early. They're located at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn, and the number to call them, 678-3122. K&R Rental. And believe me, they'll deliver and pick up your power tools and heavy equipment right there at the site. Give them a call, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Today's going to be fairly decent, but tomorrow, not so much. Here is your weather forecast. Looks like sunny skies for today. It is going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts possible of 25 plus. High 54 is what we're expecting. Tonight, low of 31. Tomorrow, more clouds will be coming into the area and bringing along with it a chance of precipitation, rain, and snow showers. As a matter of fact, 20% chance of showers in the forecast for tomorrow. High of 50. Tomorrow night, 40% chance of rain and or snow showers, especially up on the higher elevations. Low of 29. And then for Saturday, still going to be sunny, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 45. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And brought to you by our friends at K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Hello over there, as they're all serving you folks with everything from painting equipment to forklifts. I mean, they've got it all. Been in business since 1979, and they've got the tools, the equipment, and the experience to help you at K&R Rental. Give them a call, 678-3122. Right now, let's sell some cattle. Merv, come on in here.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get all 31, 31, 30.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale time this morning at 10 a.m. The sale that works for you. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy and the crew at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Hey, the old dimply cowboy from up at Cary, Greg Peterson, bringing in 40 head of calves, weighing 500 to 600 pounds. Bob Park Park up to Malta, bringing in 200 ripping good calves, 400 to 650 pounds. Butcher cows coming in today from TLK Dairy, Acme Dairy, and Oak Valley Dairy, along with the great big trailer line run. 10 a.m. starting time at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And the number to call, 678-9411. The sale that works for you. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, gets the steer calves there here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Merv May called and got the livestock. He said, man, they're going to start a little earlier, 10 o'clock, sale time. They got a lot of good cattle coming in today. Hey, let's see what have we got going on here today. We've got the Chamber Report with Kylo over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be giving away a breakfast, and I'm going to tell you that right now, at Denny's for the Grand Slam. You can build your own Grand Slam breakfast. Now listen to this. That's going to be at about 9:18, right in that neck of the woods. But you can stop over all the time, anytime, at America's Diner. The food is fantastic. Thomas, Terry, the whole crew. And like I said, 611 North Overland in Burley, and also another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. I mean, have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, have anything you want, anytime, all the time, every day at Denny's Restaurant. America's Diner with the best of people. And next week on the 19th, we'll be over there for Zeb's Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant in Burley. Absolutely. Real quick before we get started on some of our topics this morning, I also want to remind you about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. And they're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to remember, number to call, 678-0459. Open 7:30 in the morning till 5 Monday through Friday for all your heating and cooling and electrical needs. And, I think we can kind of go light on the word cooling. It's going to cool off here in the next couple of days. I noticed that Gina said maybe some angel dandruff in the forecast. So please make sure you got really clean furnace filters to make sure you can stay all comfy. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, serving you. Well, when you thought it really could not get any worse. I tell you what, man, last night when I heard this next story, I literally vaulted out of the chair, and Deanna and I both agreed the end has got to be in sight because of the idiocy and the stupidity of mankind. When you thought it couldn't get any worse, yesterday it was announced that the Boy Scouts, and they've had plenty of trials and tribulations, the Boy Scouts, from the Cub Scouts all the way to the Eagle Scouts, will start taking in girls. Now let that seep in for a minute. What? Why? The girls already have the Girl Scouts. But now the Boy Scouts, through inclusion and this idiocy, I believe honestly in my heart of hearts it's all pushed by a unisex society, the left, to go in and damage and destroy anything about boys, girls, separation between the two, have their own associations, have their own groups, have their own clubs, whatever the case might be. And this is forced inclusion. Now, what about the Girl Scouts? Well, I know for a fact that the Girl Scout leader, Kathy Hoppenka Hannon, accused the Boy Scouts of trying to bolster dwindling numbers, and she sent a letter to him saying such. This is insane. You know, there's no men anymore in our society. Listen to the fact that, the women, the Title IX gave a lot of exclusivity and a lot of money to increase and further girls' sports and attitudes, etc., on campuses. But now why all of a sudden do we have to always have the push? The ladies, well, they want to get in the PGA. The ladies, well, they want to try playing in Major League Baseball. The ladies, well, they might try to switch and go to the NBA instead of the WNBA. Why? I don't know what your thoughts are, but there should be a definitive line drawn, kept, and adhered to. Women over here, men over here. Now, if you think that's sexist, it is. And I'm not backing up on it. I'm not going to apologize for it or anything. This unisex society, I'll give you another example that just makes me just cringe. The WPRA, the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, I just absolutely cringe when I see guys trying to make inroads to be barrel racers in the WPRA. Those ladies have worked doggone hard to put themselves in a position for great money and great payoffs at the NFR and a lot of rodeos. And then here comes the guys. This is turning the coin over the other way. And some of these guys, they need to put on dresses and makeup and go to the prom. They're just nothing more than pathetic sissies trying to invade and infiltrate the WPRA. Now it's both ways, see? And it's absolutely senseless in a society that should have a definitive line drawn for the different genders. By the way, there is only two, male and female. The rest are phony and laughable. Caller, I'm going to ask your indulgence. I got to pay some bills. Stay with me. I know you will. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Number to call, number to remember, 678-1191. The kids are falling off the monkey bars at school. They run out the door, trip, and oh my goodness, they're all sprained and kind of busted up and everything. Well, then get them all put back together again by some people that really know all the best in physical therapy, and they know all about using that hydrotherapy pool, and you'll feel like a new person. I know it really worked for me. The number to call, 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, absolutely the best in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb, and happy Columbus Day.
Yes, that's right.
There are two people in this world that still think it was the 12th.
Well, it is.
Yeah. About what you're talking about, the Scouts, the LDS Church has come out with a directive that they will not participate in this folly that they've come up with. It's just, they already have a program for the girls, and they see no need in it.
Absolutely. And I commend them for that. I do.
Well, if you go up to Camp Bradley, which is a scout camp that most of them attend, they have men's restrooms because they didn't need any others, and now they want to integrate everything. I don't think this is right.
Absolutely not. I am going to fight this. I'm going to denigrate this movement. I'm going to chastise this movement. I'm going to make fun of this movement. I am absolutely never going to get behind it. I am going to be one of the ships out on the ocean that's not going to give in to these people, because I think it's another evil. I think it's another evil way to create a unisex society, and I'm not going to stand for it myself personally. And I need people like you to stand up and have the guts to say no.
Yeah, and the director of the Snake River Council is going to go along with it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I don't like that.
I think it's terrible. It's pathetic. It's terrible.
They're in Scouts right now, but I will have, and no more.
Yeah. I used to do some public service work for them and everything else. I will not help them. I think this is deplorable. The bending to the social ills of, like I said, a unisex society. Thank you, Keith. God bless you, man. Thanks.
You bet.
All right. No, I'm not going to adhere to it. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to keep denigrating it. Your thoughts. What do you think about, what about these girls getting into the Boy Scouts? There's no common sense for that whatsoever. What about the Girl Scouts? What about their big Girl Scout cookie campaign? What about their own values and virtues of their association? Oh, now the Boy Scouts hurting for numbers. Oh, well, we'll be inclusive, and we'll have the Girl Scouts come over. Boy, are we going to have a party. Oh, yeah. This is asinine and stupid. It's stupid and should not be supported. I was listening to an Eagle Scout this morning on television, and oh my goodness sakes, he's not happy about it at all, nor should any of us be. I want to remind you about some really good people that care, and that's Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, 677-8212. I have mentioned this over the program many, many times the last couple of weeks, that a lot of the seniors, absolutely, they should not be living alone. They shouldn't have that isolation. They should not be compelled every day to kind of watch out for the safety hazards, watch out for the injuries, and poor nutrition. They can't cook for themselves a lot of times. And missing medication, well, the answer is, please, senior living at Pomerelle Place. The ability for seniors to maintain their independence and their safety and live comfortably. Please call them today at 677-8212. Pomerelle Place on 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Really nice people. Also, don't forget our friends with Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Oh, my, yes, along with Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Your home will feel really comfy on the inside with the Lennox Home Comfort System. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459. Lennox Home Comfort Systems and Ramsey Heating and Electric, saving you money. What are your thoughts on this? Come on, everybody should have some thoughts on this. I just don't imagine. One of the things I was reading in the Boy Scouts of America used to prohibit gay scouts and gay troop leaders. Well, they made what they call significant moves to open up its membership in recent years. The Boy Scouts ended the ban on openly gay scouts in 2013 and the prohibition on gay troop leaders in 2015. Earlier this year, the organization announced that it would allow transgender boys in its ranks. What happened? What happened to the Boy Scouts? I used to absolutely look at the Boy Scouts with pride and look at them with a sense of, boy, they're doing things right to create and help build men for future generations. Oh, brother. Now it is a pathetic, sick, and poorly run organization. Anybody wants to debate that? The number's easy to remember, 436-2244. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. I want to remind everybody about people that do a job that you and I don't want to do. And I'm talking about Dino's Septic Service. Oh, my goodness sakes. They really get involved in their work and do a great job in septic tanks pumped and septic tanks and drain fields installed and sewer and sink lines drained and cleaned. Oh, my goodness. Backhoe service. They really provide fast, fair, friendly service to help you. It's something we don't want to do, but they do it, and they do a great job. Dino's Septic Service, Burley and Rupert, 436-6526, and in Burley, 678-1638. Doing the job with that great big truck called Smells Cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I am really into this discussion that you're having. I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm the middle sister of 5 brothers, and I had an older sister and a younger sister. And our dad, he was a military guy, and he had a line between the boy thing and the girl thing, and he wanted us girls to be ladies and women and strong women. And he wanted his sons to be strong men. And the first lesson he taught all of us was that you respect each other. And I am so glad he did not believe that there was room in a lot of these organizations for women to come in, because men need their own organizations, camaraderie. He felt like men needed to learn to be a part of a team, and all of those things were so important, and especially in the home. You needed to teach your kids teamwork, but there's a line between where you cross and where you don't.
You know,
I am so thankful for my father that he was that kind of a man.
And it goes conversely, too, Chris, that the ladies also need, the girls also need, an organization, association, or whatever it might be for themselves. And I have always respected the Girl Scouts. I've always respected and bought way too many cookies during their Girl Scout cookie drive. And to hear that some of these people are advocating basically the disintegration of the Girl Scouts so they can jump over into the Boy Scouts, this is absolutely the lowest of the low.
Well, we human mortals think we know best, and we forget to go to the head manufacturer up there in heaven and talk to that person, that body, about why we're getting so off track. And I think he would see that we're off track.
You know, Chris, let me just mention something to you quickly, and caller number 2, stay there. I'll be there in a moment. I don't know if you've ever seen a commercial that's on TV right now, but it shows a girl, and you think it's a girl, but it's such a stupid and basically baseless commercial. And then she puts on a men's hat and walks down the street with a supposed guy that looks like he's so willow and so absolutely weak that he couldn't lift a bag of hummingbird seed without getting a hernia. This is the kind of society that they want, and I think it's about time to bring back real men and real women.
I think it's time that the real men and the real women stand up. Who are they that think they can tell us where the gender deal goes?
Yeah.
I have boys. I didn't want a bunch of girls getting into their rooms and stuff like that. If I'd have had daughters, the daughters would have had their rooms and the boys would have had theirs.
Yeah.
And that's that.
I'm just getting worried every day. There is more garbage and trash being thrown at us by a society that wants to break down all the morals and the family values, and we've got to stand up somehow. Chris, thank you so much for your call. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Caller, stand by just a minute, please. I want to remind everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, sales, service, and parts. 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. You know, they've got negative interest on all the Bobcats. That means the interest on a machine is subtracted from the price. You better check it out, and if you're looking to buy, now is the time to get a Bobcat from Barry Equipment and Rental in Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan and the crew. Great big sandbox out behind the business to teach you how to run it. Oh, Juan and the boys can help you with all your equipment rentals and retail equipment sales. Barry Equipment and Rental. Caller, good morning and thank you.
Good morning, sir. Just like we was talking about yesterday, they're trying to wussify America.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to take everything that is masculine and get rid of it.
Yep.
And there's one commercial that just fries my bacon. Well, frying bacon makes me happy. I mean, it just fries me. That Kennecott commercial where the guy picks up the deal and goes, Kennecoot? No, Kennecott.
Uh-huh.
Like she's saying, you're dumb, you can't read.
Yeah.
That just fries me.
Well, and Wheels, we're getting a little feedback over here. One thing, Doug, have you noticed basically the commercials, and I've said this before on many previous programs, that the male in our society is being kind of pushed down the ladder towards the bottom rung of being stupid, being inept, and not being able to take care of anything, and the woman's going to take charge and run everything through. You can see the denigration of mankind every single night in primetime TV.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. And this is the left's way of making men, making sissies out of men, which will make them where they won't stand up, and then if they don't stand up, then it's going to be easier to take over.
Yeah. You know,
I'm not a rocket scientist, and neither are you, but we can see the writing on the wall.
Doug, the whole thing with the Boy Scouts, and I don't care if their numbers are down, you don't open up the door and say, well, we're going to become inclusive for all the gays, all the transgenders, all the gay leaders. Oh, and let's just totally destroy the Girl Scouts. We'll invite them into our organization too. And I am finished with the Boy Scouts. I don't want anything to do with them, and I never on this program, for as long as I'm on the air, will ever do a public service announcement for them.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. The leaders of the Boy Scouts, they are part of the problem, and the lower people, the ones that don't believe in it, need to stand up and kick them out.
But today, Doug, with the way things are going with the evil, vile left in every part of our society, they're pushing for, we can't have genders. You can be anything you want to be. Well, we can't have private associations. No, you can join anything you want. Oh, well, if you think you're a guy, go ahead and join the PGA. Well, if you think you're a girl, go ahead and join the LPGA. This is insane. We've got to have divisions.
Exactly. And where they're letting guys who think they're females compete in high school sports and take all of the trophies, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Well, I just think...
to have a picture of a boy and a girl, and they'll say, okay, you stand in front of this mirror and you look and you tell me which one you look like, and that's what you are.
Doug, there's only two genders, and I dare anybody to call me this morning and tell me that is a wrong statement. There are two genders, male and female. God did not make mistakes, but people in their always thinking they're a little bit smarter than everybody else, including God, they've come up with all these different genderisms now. Oh, I think I'm going to be a female giraffe today, or tomorrow I think I'll be a male monkey and swing from the chandeliers. I mean, it's insane.
It is insane. And the further we let them go down this road, the harder it's going to be to get back.
Amen. I got another...
Good people need to stand up and do something.
I've got another call coming, but I appreciate your always being supportive. Thanks, Doug. God bless, man.
Okay, and everybody, let's take care of our senior centers. Do what we can, okay?
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. Caller number 2, I'll be right with you. I want to remind everybody again about our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox with the home comfort systems. I'm not kidding you. You better give them a call at 678-0459. Find out more about how you can stay comfy, cozy in the wintertime with the Lennox home comfort systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley, 678-0459. Real quick, the Bennett boys are going to have another great auction this Saturday. The Bennett Boys Auction Service, the Randy Mitchell Estate Auction at 11 o'clock this Saturday the 14th, located in Twin Falls area, 2521 East, 3707 North. Look for all the sale signs. Going to be lunch served. They're going to have great furniture and household items, lawn and garden items, beer steins. Hey, I better be there. Antique Anheuser-Busch beer steins, shop equipment, tools, everything. Bennett Boys Auction Service. My old buddy Joe Bennett, 539-0111, and these guys are the best. Building business through service. Bennett Boys Auction Service. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Zeb, you'd make a terrible-looking female giraffe. My gosh, your neck ain't near long enough. You don't have enough hair. Anyway, you know the way to solve this problem?
I wished I did.
Darn TV off. Don't watch them shows.
No.
NFL, then you don't see them not kneeling.
No, Jerry, this isn't anything to do with television.
Times News, leave it in Twin.
No.
Don't bring it into your house.
Jerry, that's burying...
I don't want them things in my house.
Jerry, wait a minute.
Why should I disgrace my living room with something like that sitting there?
Jerry, I agree with you. Listen, wait a minute.
A good book or a good Bible.
Let me say something to you, buddy. Listen, Jerry, this isn't about the television. This isn't about reading something in the newspaper. This is about people not burying their heads in the sand and doing something proactively to stop this. This is insane, it's vulgar, and it's filthy for the Boy Scouts to let now the Girl Scouts be members. Too many problems can arise and will arise. We've got to stop this infiltration of filth in our society, and you can't do it by burying your head in the sand.
Well, I'm going to do it because I'm not going to watch them. They upset me when I see that kind of stuff.
Well, being upset is not the same as stopping it.
The NFL, I won't watch another game as long as I live, and that's an absolute fact. And if I know somebody's sponsoring them, I'm not buying their product.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's where you got to stay involved. How are you going to know who the product sponsors are if you bury your head in the sand or try to be just in your house with the windows shut and the doors locked? That's not going to help anybody. Be proactive like you've been in every other project that you've done, and I compliment and commend you. You got to be proactive. You can't just stay in the house and let the world roll by.
You know, Zeb will tell me whose their advertisements are, and other people around. You hear that? That's just, stuff that comes out.
Well, we need people to...
I watch football. I like Boise State, and I like, the Bruins, and I watched my grandson play football against Twin the other day. Of course, I've watched every game this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't watch the NFL. I just am not going to do it. I'm not going to bend to that level, and I'm done with them. They're through. I'll never turn them on again. That's till the day I die.
Well, I respect that.
After that, I can't turn them on, so I ain't going to worry about it.
Okay. Jerry, thank you for your call. God bless, man. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
We just can't say, oh, that's a shame, and then turn around and not do anything. We can't do that. We've got to become proactive. I think this is filth. I think it's sleaze, and I'm going to keep denigrating it. I need people to stand up and say the same thing. And this push for no gender identity. Are you kidding me? There's no John Wayne types anymore. There's no Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, or whatever attitudes anymore. There's nobody to look up to, and guys trying to be guys and ladies trying to be ladies. But this is absolute insanity with this, there shouldn't be there's no more gender identity anymore. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I think we ought to start, and I'm seriously going to sit down and try to put this all together, a male-only, let's see, how can we put this together here real quick? Men only, 65 and older, and nobody else allowed. They've got to be Christians, and I'm going to be really selective on the verbiage and then see how many people come after me and attack me for being racist or whatever. I don't care. We've got to have some rules. We've got to have some family values. We've got to have some morals. And I look down my nose right now at the Boy Scouts of America for what they're doing. Caller, I'm going to ask you to stay tuned for a moment. I got to just get this in. Harris Plumbing NG, the very best plumber in the universe. I'm telling you, Nathan and his crew, they do a great job. Their headquarters, 630 Dion Street in Burley. The number to call if you've got plumbing needs and problems, 431-8633. One call does it all, and that's for all your plumbing service needs. I am very impressed with what they do and how they do it, dedicated to perfection. Harris Plumbing NG, 630 Dion in Burley, 431-8633. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Well, good morning, Mr. Bell. I agree with everything you've been saying this morning, and you made a statement just a few minutes ago that I've been saying all along. God doesn't make mistakes. He made women to be women and men to be men. And this baloney, I had to bite my tongue, sorry.
I'm so glad that you did.
This crap of people, coming out and letting their little children, there's little kids as young as 7 or 8, 5 or 6, that they're saying, well, they were born in a girl's body,
yeah,
but they really have male impulses. That's bull. Give me a break. At that age, they have no idea what's going on.
And that's so true. And we heard a story the other day. I wished I could find it in my stack of papers here, but I think it was a little boy, and 5 years of age, and showed that he wanted to play with like dolls and everything. And so the parents are honestly, this kid is 5 years of age, and they're considering going ahead this next year with a sex change operation. I mean, they're literally going to be destroying that person's life for the rest of their life, and this is insanity.
Oh, I totally agree. I think the parents need to get some kind of help at that age, at any age. Look at Bruce Jenner. He's about the most incompetent person I think I've ever seen. Now I heard that he's going to try to have a baby. Oh my God!
Please
give me a break.
Please, Donna, you're one of my dearest friends, you and George. But I didn't have much breakfast. But please don't help me lose it when you start talking like that.
I'm sorry, but we need to get God back in our country, and we need to start standing up. I was born a woman. I've done things men can do. But I don't go out and intentionally try to do things, that the boys do or the guys do. I was taught to be a lady.
And the thing is, Donna, if you took a poll...
I'm glad I was.
If you took a poll today, and I took a poll on the radio, and I wished I'd have started this a little earlier this morning, we could have done this. But men want women to be women, and women want men to be men. And have you ever seen that commercial I was referring to where that absolutely, she looks like a guy and she's singing in a sick off-tune voice, and she puts on a men's hat and walks down the street, and then all of a sudden what's I think is a guy, I'm not sure what it is, walks next to her? I mean, that's the kind of stupid, absolutely asinine unisex society that the left wants. And I can't live in that kind of a world.
Oh, me either. Yeah, I haven't seen the commercial, but I'm sure if I did, I'd probably turn it off. I don't allow that stuff in my home, and I'm not naive. I mean, it's happening, and it's coming to our city.
Yeah, but listen to this. Listen to this for a minute, my dear. Listen to this. Right now, and I'm not making this up because I have it in my hand right here. The state of California can now start jailing people that refuse to use the preferred gender pronoun of certain nursing home residents. And these people that won't use the preferred gender pronoun can be slapped with a $1,000 fine and up to 1 year in prison. Tell me our world is not going to hell.
I totally agree. That is that's typical of Californians. I don't know. I wish I had a solution, because I'd be the first one on the bandwagon to get it done. We just need to stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. If you want to live that way, get behind your darn closed door, and leave us be. It just infuriates me when people come out and they say, well, we deserve the same things as married couples do.
No, they don't.
No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't.
And I'm never going to honor them. I'm never going to give them the value of me with my respect towards them, because I don't respect that lifestyle. I never will. Nobody's going to force or coerce me to do that. Nobody's going to force me or coerce me to accept the transgenderism. God made two genders, male, female. End of story. Close the book.
I totally agree. Amen, brother.
All right. Talk to you later. Thank you. All righty, weather forecast. Oh, my goodness, I got to get a weather forecast in here. I want to tell you about Sanctuary City, Trenton, New Jersey, illegal alien, and the raping of a 6-year-old girl right after the weather. Weather is brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they're located right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room. The number to remember, the number to call for a hearing screening, and make sure you take care of your hearing problems, 312-0957. I'll repeat it again, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids in Rupert, 312-0957. Right now, here's the weather.
Today's going to be fairly decent, but tomorrow, not so much. Here is your weather forecast. Looks like sunny skies for today. It is going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts possible of 25 plus. High 54 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 31. Tomorrow, more clouds will be coming into the area and bringing along with it a chance of precipitation, rain and snow showers. As a matter of fact, 20% chance of showers in the forecast for tomorrow, high of 50. Tomorrow night, 40% chance of rain and or snow showers, especially up on the higher elevations, low of 29. And then for Saturday, still going to be sunny, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 45. That's your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
All right, thank you, Gina. Don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And this Dr. Christine Pickup knows all about sound and all about hearing. I urge you to call. I went over there. She helped me. She can help you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids in Rupert, right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again. You know, ever since we came up with the theme this morning, I've been thinking, and you remember the program Father Knows Best?
I do. I had a contest question on it the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Robert Young. Go ahead.
Robert Young, yeah. I remember that. But anyway, it's an undisputed fact that when you and I were growing up, the mother was in charge of the home. And we listened to her, and we did what she said, and she's the one that always made sure you were ready to go to school and everything else. And the father takes care of the things that are more or less outside. And he needs to make a decision sometimes, but that's a joint venture between the mother and the father.
Yep.
And where has that gone?
Yeah. I mean, it's so sad what we have let society go into the gutter, and it's getting deeper and deeper every day. I couldn't agree with you more. Keith, thank you. I got to get one more story on here. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
When I heard this story this morning, literally, I think one of my pens is embedded in the wall because I was so mad I just threw it. In Trenton, New Jersey. And Trenton, New Jersey, by the way, is a sanctuary city to which I think should absolutely have the feds go in and just knock the heads on the city officials and have a wake-up call. This is insane. But in Trenton, New Jersey, they had an illegal alien that had been arrested before. They knew about this guy. They knew he was a bad dude, but he lives in a sanctuary city, Trenton, New Jersey. They let him out. They let him out. And he crawls through a window and rapes a 6-year-old girl. Illegal alien. Shouldn't have been here. Had no dang business being here. But he lives in a sanctuary city. They couldn't touch him. And when they did touch him, they let him go. This is what is going on in Chicago, San Francisco. Look at Kate Steinle. The murder of a beautiful girl standing on a pier in San Francisco with her dad. Shot by an illegal alien. And then this vermin crawling through a bedroom window and destroying the life of a 6-year-old girl. I don't give one damn if I offend somebody when I say this. He should have been shot immediately or turned over to a ranch branding crew, if you get my drift. These sanctuary cities are nothing more but lawless havens for lawless people. And it's just absolutely insane with the likes of Rahm Emanuel in Chicago and the backing of what's going on in San Francisco, Bill de Blasio in New York City and others. These people need to be drawn out of their office and tarred and feathered and put on a plank and shipped out to sea. America's falling apart. America is falling apart. What are you going to do to help stop it? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It's insane. I've used that word so many times, but that's what's going on in the news today. 6-year-old girl in supposedly the safety and sanctity of her own home. And this lower than fecal material crawls through the window and changes that little girl's life forever. An illegal alien arrested previously. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I haven't had that good of a belly laugh for a long time.
What's funny about that?
I think a lot of problems can be solved by turning a lot of people over to a ranch branding crew.
Well, you know, I was a little antagonistic when you said I haven't had a belly laugh like that for a long time, but I didn't understand where you were coming from. I did not say it to be...
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
No, wait a minute. Wait, please. Hear me out. I did not mean to sound at all facetious when I said it because I'm so concerned about that little girl and her life being changed. I just think anything that could be done to this guy, whether it's on a permanent basis or a temporary basis, do it because his life does not matter to me one damn.
Yep. We have too many mamby-pamby people that are catering to these people, and I meant it. When you said that, I just thought that is a great analogy right there. A lot of problems could be solved if people would just have the same mentality of a ranch branding crew. Justice is justice and get the job done.
I am so sorry that I jumped on you initially, but this story just made me sick.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
God bless you. Thank you. When I heard that story, honest to goodness, it brought tears to my eyes this morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. People in this country have no idea how much they're going to lose by sitting back and doing nothing.
Amen.
3 mornings I wait at the mall for my daughter drop the dogs off because we dog sit. And I watch the cars and the pickup trucks and these people stopping in for coffee at Starbucks down here. And how much these people are enriched by what the United States has given them.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose it all.
Yep.
The enemies within our country and without our country have nothing to lose.
Yep.
They're like a bunch of savages that want to take over the entire world, and they will if this garbage that we have going on in the country continues.
Well, I'm afraid it's going to continue unless we, the people, stand up and honestly just say enough of this and start chucking some of these people over the boat into the water. Oh, gee, forgot the life vest. Too doggone bad. When you talk about somebody crawling through a window that is an illegal alien, shouldn't have been here, arrested before, living in a sanctuary city, and destroying a 6-year-old girl's life, time to bring out the knife. Get my drift.
Well, it's time to put out the branding irons. I'm with you on there, and I brand them right in the appropriate place.
I'm not talking about just Brandon, buddy.
Yeah, well, I know. If that happened to somebody in my family a long time ago, the job would have been done without the police or anybody else.
I guarantee you something's got to be done because this is insane. Our nation is going down the toilet. Tony, God bless you and Mary. See you Sunday. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure will.
All right, buddy. This is insane. I just can't imagine the different stories I've got. I mean, about this guy crawling through a bedroom window and raping a 6-year-old girl. And the Boy Scouts saying, oh, well, we're going to be inclusive and we're going to take in the Girl Scouts. Or Al Sharpton, a man that I despise, criticizing everybody now and saying that ESPN, when they suspended that one black broadcaster, Janelle Hill, it was an outrage. It was an outrage. No, it wasn't. She went as low as to call President Trump a white supremacist and said other bad and vile things on the air. And then you've got the stupidity of a criminal, I think, insane man that calls himself a pastor, Al Sharpton, shooting his big mouth off like a blowhorn. What in the world is the matter with our society? Whew. I better calm down. Doctor said, don't have high blood pressure. Fall tire sale going on at the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of passenger car tires, pickup and SUV tires on sale for your fall and winter driving. Get on in there to all 7 locations because there's so much more, to safe driving than just your tires, like the brake service. Absolutely the best in brake service with highly trained technicians, front-end alignments, and, of course, shocks and struts. Batteries. You heard the weather forecast. Gonna get colder. Make sure you've got a good battery. Fall tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I've got 20 seconds. Fast. Go.
Good morning, Zeb. I want to be on that crew, and I want to run the knife. I'm ready to start standing up and fighting. How many things are going on unnoticed, unsaid, just like the deal in Twin Falls here last fall or last year that happened to that little girl?
Absolutely.
How many other things are they covering up?
Absolutely. Thank you for your call, and I don't mean to sound rude, but I got to get to the news.
No problem. Have a good one.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Wheels, take it away. I'll be back in 7 minutes. Got to calm down. Oh, good morning. Hour number 2. I've had a chance to calm down a little bit. Yeah, calm down a little bit. But boy, I'll tell you what, folks. It's true. We are going to heck in a handbasket. I want to remind everybody that Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires and a great big fall tire sale going on right now. And also some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and resources. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
You know, it's really true. They are always at your disposal, whether you need dumpsters in various sizes, or you need to get on the route service to get your garbage picked up weekly, or if you need porta potties for a special event. Wow, they're always there to serve you, always at your disposal. All you need to do is call their number, 734-6969, Western Waste Services. Absolutely the best. Really, really good folks. Also, before we go to the Chamber of Commerce, I want to remind everybody about Lennox Home Comfort Systems, and you can stay cozy on the inside with indoor comfort from Ramsey Heating and Electric, teaming up with Lennox Home Comfort Systems, and you might possibly get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new system. Call them today, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459 in Burley. Before we get started, I also want to mention to you some really, really good friends of ours. And I just absolutely think the world of the family and the staff of Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward and the entire crew. Let's face it, when there's the passing of a loved one, boy, it's tumultuous times. Very tumultuous. You don't know what needs to be done. You don't know the time frames. Stop. Just think for a minute and call them, Hanson Mortuary, because they always treat you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. They can help. They will help. Call them at 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, in Rupert. Right now, over the river and through the woods we go, and we're going to get a chance to visit with the director of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, Kyla. Good morning.
Morning, Zeb. How are you this
I am good. What's going on over in your land?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I want to talk to you, first of all, today at noon is the monthly chamber lunch, and that is going to be taking place at Perkins Restaurant in Burley. And this is our legislative review, so we're encouraging folks, if you're not a member of the chamber, this is a great lunch to come and check us out, because we have Senator Kelly Anthon and Representative Fred Wood, who will be talking about the upcoming legislative session, which I know you're saying to yourself, that's in January, Kyla, but at the same time, it's not that far away. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to speak one-on-one with your legislators about concerns that you have or issues that are on your mind before they head off to, the state capitol in Idaho. So this is just a great opportunity. We'll be there at noon. If you're a member of the chamber, check with us. Chances are your lunch is paid for through your membership. If not, lunch is $12, and we invite you to join us. So that's going to be a lot of fun today. It's always great when those guys come to speak, for sure.
No, I will tell you that it's never too early. As a matter of fact, I have been vocal about this for a long time, that if people have questions, people have things they want to say and or acknowledge with our legislative leaders, they should do it at the earliest juncture possible so that preparations for discussion can be made for those legislative sessions. And
that's absolutely true, Zed. That's absolutely true. Because honestly, House Speaker Scott Bedke, who's from our neck of the woods also over here, he was planning to join us. I got a note from him yesterday, and he's like, Kyla, I'm already in Boise. I'm already, in stuff. And he was sad that he couldn't make it this time. So we'll try to catch him on another trip when he's back here. But this is the time that you need to be talking with your legislators and asking them the questions if you have concerns over issues that are coming down the pike.
I think we have a caller with a question for you, Kyla. Quickly, caller, you're on the air. What can we do for you?
Good morning, Kyla. I want to know if they're going to have the Farmer Businessman's Banquet this year, and if not, why not?
Well, this is what our board of directors has decided. We are moving the awards, and they will be coming out probably in our next newsletter, which will be November. We have changed some of the awards for farmer businessmen, and we're going to move those into the annual chamber banquet. And the annual chamber banquet is set to take place on February 1st. That will be over at the Burley Inn and Convention Center. And they just feel that that's where they've historically given a lot of the different awards for Volunteer of the Year, for Chamber Member of the Year, for the Chamber Ambassador of the Year, and that's going to be a more appropriate place to put those awards. And that's been a really fun time. We invite folks to come out and join us, but I'll have a lot more information on that coming up next month for sure. And so we'll also be putting those awards and also the criteria to win the awards. I think that's super important. We've certainly seen some changes in business here. That will all be coming out. We'll run some ads in the newspapers leading up to the banquet, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, well, what else is cooking this time of the year? It's really weird, but this morning when I looked at the calendar and looked outside, stepped outside, felt the chill, where did this year go anyway?
I wish I could tell you that. Somewhere between the eclipse and everything else. I'm not exactly sure, but it sure has been a great year. So tonight there are several things happening in our community. The Foreigner, which is an awesome, awesome fun play, is going to be opening at King Fine Arts Center in the Little Theater. Tickets are only available at the door. They're $10 each. Some great talent there. And then also the town hall meetings begin for Minidoka County School District. They are looking at a supplemental levy for the 2018 through 2020, Minico Ag Program and expansion and just future growth of the district. They're going to have 2 sessions tonight, so depending on your work schedule, you should be able to make one of them. They're both at Minico High School, 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., and they will have translation there provided for folks where English is their second language. And then lots of other things are happening. I'm kind of excited. Fabulous Friday the 13th is at Branded Boutique and Tack in Burley. They're going to have some cookies and cider and grab bags and fun stuff. And then on Saturday, Farmer's Corner is doing their customer appreciation. They're bringing in a mechanical bull, and they're going to have a luau and a pig roast just to thank everybody in the community for all the years that you've been supporting Farmers Corner, and so I think that's going to be a hoot. That's from 10 to 2. Historic Wilson Theater has great entertainment, and that's the Eric Clapton Tribute Band. Tickets are available through the Wilson Theater. We're doing a ticket giveaway, so check out the Chamber Facebook page if you'd like to win a couple of tickets to that. And then there's just a ton of stuff because Halloween is just around the corner, Zeb. So we can talk more about that next week. But there's Lunch with the Witches out at Nature Nursery and Market. There's the Harry Potter Experience at the Wilson Theater. You've got the Pomerel Ski Swap coming up, so you might want to start digging around this weekend to find all your old equipment so you can bring it to the drop-off that'll be coming up in the weeks ahead.
Eric Clapton, we're talking about long time ago. My goodness, that takes me back to the days of Creedence Clearwater, etc.
Well, does it take you in the Wayback Machine there, Zeb? But no, Eric Clapton Tribute Band should be awesome. They had the Eagles Tribute Band there not long ago,
wow.
So that should be a lot of fun.
I'll tell you what, there was no music, and I'll stand behind this and go toe-to-toe with anybody. There was no music ever recorded in history like what came out of the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, and I'll tell you what, that was music. This stuff today, yuck.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a great show, and like I said, contact the Wilson Theater for those tickets. So I can see where your heart lies. That's all right, Zeb. This is going to be fun. I think it's a great show. I think it's great what they've been doing over there just to kind of bring back that live music feel. It's awesome.
Yeah, you know, and the rap music, which I always put a C in front of the word rap, I absolutely have no time for that stuff. And music today just doesn't have the feel. It doesn't have the orchestration. It doesn't have the lyrics. You got to get back to the older stuff.
Well, I'm not sure if I hate to say this because I know we're going to get calls or something, but sometimes it feels like most of the artists that are super popular on pop music today don't even know how to play an instrument or read music. So that's the tough part.
Hey, don't ever be ashamed of saying something. I couldn't care less if we offend somebody. I do it every day.
So, I mean, there are artists out there that are extremely talented songwriters and do a great job, and there's others where I'm like, I don't understand how you're even, the most popular person, but that's not for me to decide.
All right. Well, I appreciate everything you do over there at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Kyla, thank you so much. Have a great, great week, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
That sounds great.
And we'll play some Creedence Clearwater as we introduce you next week.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Zeb. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Nice lady over there at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. I really think a lot of those folks, and they work hard to serve you. I know some other folks that work hard to serve you, and that's Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. The number to call, 678-1177. Now is the time to worm all your animals for the fall. It is. And for your horses, don't just keep putting water in that old bucket. If you got a heated water tank, use it because, boy, this is colic season. The water warms up a little bit during the day and then it turns cold at night, and that's a great way to have them get sick and colic, so take care of that. All of this from Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. The number to call, 678-1177, and they do have warm hearts for cold noses. Really good people. Let's see, what else have I got to do here real quick before we go to the next segment. We're going to be giving away a Grand Slam Denny's breakfast in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. I want to remind you that a lot of people are getting outside. A lot of people are heading for the hills. A lot of people are taking pictures of all the beautiful fall colors. You want to go? Okay. Check it out with Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 over in Rupert, between Rupert and the World, and check out the four-wheelers to get up in the mountains, the side-by-sides. Or you're waiting for that angel dandruff to fall on the ground, check out all the brand-new snowmobiles. Fun outside in southern Idaho. They've got all the accessories, and they got the best doggone service department around. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Yep, this is where the fun is sold. Really good folks over there. And I am going to give away in just a moment, thanks to our dear friends at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, a Grand Slam Denny's breakfast. So that's coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. When you think about life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of these things that you need for your family, your business, and you better not put it off. You better get a hold of the professionals that are dedicated and responsive to your needs. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Here's the number. Take the responsibility to call and make an appointment today. 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You get a hold of them now. All righty. We are now going to have our football trivia breakfast giveaway, a Grand Slam breakfast. You can build your own Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's, America's Diner. Now, I'm going to give you an easy question this morning. All you have to do, if you know the answer, is be the first person to call, 436-2244, or 1-866-927-4587 with the right answer. What two professional NFL teams played in the famous Ice Bowl game? What two NFL teams played in the famous Ice Bowl game? First person to call with the right answer is going to win a delicious Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. Woo, baby, that was quick. Good morning. Who's on the air?
This is Dory.
I need your full name.
Dory Clegg.
Dory Clegg. Okay, Dory, you're on the spot. What is the answer?
Green Bay Packers
Uh-huh.
and Dallas Cowboys.
You like to eat breakfast?
Oh, sure.
Well, you're going to love this one because it's free, Dory.
Thank you.
All righty, Dory Clegg wins that from Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. It was the Dallas Cowboys against the Green Bay Packers. I got to give you a little history about that from my standpoint. I never will forget that cold, horrendously cold day in Wisconsin. And we did not have tickets to that game, but we were at home, and at the almost end of the second quarter, the power went off. The lines froze up and snapped, and we had no power in the house and no way to hear the game, except I tried to get a transistor radio to work, and it was going and it wouldn't work. And the power was off for over an hour, and we had tents. We made tents out of quilts and everything in the house. It was so cold. And then finally it came back on, and we saw the very last quarter of the Ice Bowl game where Green Bay won. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the prep happenings that are going to go on this weekend. The Burley Bobcats are going to take on Filer. And let's move on down to the Canyon Ridge Riverhawks are playing Wood River. Jerome Tigers take on Minico. That'll be a good game. And let's move on down to the Twin Falls Bruins. They're taking on Century up at the Holt Arena. And Wood River Wolverines playing Canyon Ridge. Moving over now to the Buell Indians. And they're taking on Kimberly. I got to brag a little bit. My grandson's the quarterback at Kimberly. And go Dawson, go. I'm sorry. A little grandparent cheering there. Let's take a look at Gooding. They're taking on Wendell. Gooding has really got a great team this year. And moving over to Declo, they're taking on Westside. Declo always has a fantastic football team. And Glens Ferry is open this weekend, as are the Hagerman Pirates. And Oakley is taking on Chalice. That'll be another good game. And moving over to Shoshone, they're going to be playing Chalice. Wait a minute, did I say that earlier? I think I did. And Valley is going to be taking on Grace. Good game there. Let's see what else have I got. Lighthouse Christian is playing Castleford. Murtaugh is going to be playing Cary, and the Richfield Tigers taking on Camas County. So those are some of the prep games going on in this area this weekend. I know as grandparents, we sit there and come on, Dawson. And then all of a sudden the line from the other team seems to get through, and then also we're going, get out of there, Dawson, get out of there. Fun times. Being a grandparent, being a parent, watching high school football. Absolutely. Got time for a call. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to also remind you about what's going on with the good folks over at Autumn Haven. Yes, Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. And they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved one, where they're able to provide more one-on-one care. It's the only assisted living facility in Rupert, and like I said, they urge you to come by, take a tour, find out more. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Don't forget, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. You know, I think right now, my good old buddy Wheels over at the main studio is trying to get a hold of our friend Jeff Bronson over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. And let's see if he has been successful. Wheels, how's it doing over there?
I got him on the phone for you already, and he's set to go.
Oh, my goodness sakes, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes over the hill, just like Clint Eastwood in all those Italian spaghetti westerns riding into town to save everybody. Jeff Bronson at Lee's Furniture is back. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning to you, Zeb. You know, I really quite enjoyed listening to you talk about football. I love football, and I especially love high school football. So, you know, I'd be content sitting here listening to you continue.
Well, no, we got to talk about all the goodies going on over there at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland.
Well, Zeb, I'll tell you, you know, I think about football, and what a great time to come in and get a new recliner or a new sofa and love seat that reclines to kick up your feet and watch that college game this weekend. So anyway, we've got some great specials. Zeb, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our harvest sale we have going on right now. Everything in the store, as far as furniture is concerned, is 40% off the regular price. These are significant discounts. Now, this is everything in our mattress department, in our bedroom furniture department, our dining room sets, any of our sofas and love seats, recliners, our accessories, the list goes on. Where should I continue?
Oh, my goodness. You know something? Every time I go in your store, the people are so nice. And I've always said that people make the business. I think maybe on our initial broadcast with you this morning, why don't you mention some of the great people that are down there?
You know, Zeb, I appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you very much. You know, I've known you for a lot of years, and you've always treated us great. You know, it is true. You know, we really enjoy working within the community. Some of the individuals we have that work here, and they're fantastic. Of course, we've got Hillary Howard. Hillary has recently just had a baby. Congratulations to her. And so she's going to be away from us here for a week or two, but she is so wonderful. She's so talented. She knows everything about furniture and home decorating. So as soon as she returns, of course, she'll be available for that. We have Trina Olson. Trina is wonderful. She's, of course, one of our main designers, and she is so knowledgeable of furniture. LeGrand Notache. LeGrand, of course, is my right-hand man. He's great. He can answer any questions regarding furniture, floor covering. He's a can-do guy. Morgan McCracken. Morgan's one of our main salespeople, works specifically with floor covering, and he's wonderful. We have a new employee here, Zeb. Her name is Emily Anderson. Emily, of course, is great. We look forward to having her here, and would like to invite any of her friends and family to come in and get acquainted with us a little bit better as well. And, of course, as you may be aware, I was away from the store for a bit of time, but now in conjunction with working closely with Brent Lee, I'm back in the store now, and would like to invite all of my friends and family to come in and get reacquainted, and we can tell them about all the great specials that we have here.
I'll tell you what, folks, I always kind of lean towards going over by the recliners. They've got a sensational lineup of all the different comfortable recliners that'll fit everybody. Stop in and see them today. Jeff, it's doggone good to have you back on the program with us.
Thank you, Zeb. May I just offer one other little bit of information?
Yes.
For all of Zeb Bell's listeners out there right now, we're running a special. Right now, if you mention that you've heard our conversation here on the Zeb Bell Show, you come in on any of your floor covering purchases, you will get an additional 10% off of your purchase.
There you
I'd love
go.
to invite you to come in and take a look at our special, our harvest sale going on right now.
There you go. My buddy Jeff Bronson over there at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. I'm glad he rode into town. He is the new sheriff, and he knows all about furniture and carpet, everything at Lee's Furniture. Jeff, God bless you.
Thank you, Zeb. Take care now.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. All right. Nice people. Good to have him back. I really appreciate that. What else do I have to do right now? Nothing. I'm caught up. This is the first time in a long time that I haven't had to hurry and scurry to get something else done. And we're about ready to have our dear friend Rita Ramsey come on the program this morning. Quick program reminder that at 10:10 this morning, we're going to have Cassia County School Days. Our business salute will be at 10:23 this morning, and then at 10:32 we're going to have Dr. John Zmirak on our program. Very interesting topics this morning, so don't miss it. Right now, let's check back over with Wheels and see if we have the lovely lady Rita Ramsey ready to go.
She has not called in yet, to be honest.
But you know what? I'll bet you if you're wearing your headsets, you can hear the phone ringing.
See, exactly, and you won't have to come over to get groomed in my head.
There you go, buddy. Pretty good timing right there. And a good morning to a lovely lady, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Wow, I don't even know where to start this morning. I've got about 20 different topics, so I'm just going to point my pen at this one, and this one really had me upset the first hour, if you were listening. What in the world, honestly, would possess the leadership of the Boy Scouts to be this dumb to open up and now let the Boy Scouts be memberships also for girls?
Well, a lot of it just has to do with the dollar sign. That's the bottom line. When you start having people giving you a bad time and you're tired of fighting lawsuits and that type of thing, somewhere you just have to give, and I think that's what's happened with it. The thing that's going to be bad is they're going to have many churches stop using the Boy Scouting program because of this. It'll end up folding probably within just a few years, would be my guess.
Well, what about the Girl Scouts, though? This is totally unfair to that organization.
Well, that's just the deal. These girls who want to be in Scouts, why don't they get in Girl Scouts and say, we want to do some of the same stuff the Boy Scouts do, so can we adopt some of their programs and do it? That's all they'd have to do.
Yes.
They're going to go in and pollute the Boy Scouts, and it's not going to be the same. They'll have all kinds of things happen, and it'll just be a ruination of the whole program. And that's sad, because the Boy Scout program over the years has been a way to help boys become men and learn some excellent life skills. And now all they're doing in Boy Scouts is playing patsy. We're going to see if we can bend to the girls. We're going to bend to whoever has it out for us, instead of saying, no, this is what we're going to do and we're going to stick with it. And if they start losing the support from the churches, they'll go broke.
You used a word that I think is a great word to describe what's going on here, and I'm going to compliment you on the word pollute, because not only are they polluting the morals and the values of our system in America, but they're diluting the value of men and women, the two genders, the only two genders, and I think there should be a direct separation between the two on various associations.
Well, there should be, and this is where we run into a lot of problems, is a lot of people won't stand up and say, you know what, I'm not going to take your baloney anymore. We're just tired of it. We're going to go with the way it is, and we're going to stand up for what we believe in. And when people won't do that, they just have groups, they're small groups that will come in and just take over the whole thing like it was the mass, and it isn't. It's just that the mass is busy making a living, and they won't take the time to get involved. This is where you have to start getting involved.
I said earlier this morning, and again, I don't know if you heard it or not, but I think this is one of the big pushes to create even more of a unisex society. No genders, no nothing, no morals. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And, when you have little grade school kids and even junior high kids being able to choose what they are, whether they're boy or girl,
yeah,
this is just ridiculous. It's just out of hand, and parents need to stand up against it, and people need to. And that doesn't mean that we don't want to treat others nicely and kindly. It's just kind of like, okay, we agree to disagree, but because you say this is the way that it should be isn't what we're going to put up with. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, but Rita, I said also, and I mean this, there's, what happened to men being men, opening doors for ladies, treating ladies like ladies, ladies acting like ladies, and it was a happier and better society then because that's the way things were meant, I believe, in my heart of hearts, biblically and also with a value system.
Well, it's just off the rails. And until people will start getting back on the rails and saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. But, if you have ladies who put down somebody because they opened a door for them or they were chivalrous in one respect or another, why should they keep doing it? And this is what it's boiled down to. We want, as women, want to have equal rights for certain things. But let me just tell you something. There's a lot of stuff out there that's guy stuff, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to be an electrician that has to pull hundreds of pounds of wire and that kind of stuff. There's just women in lots and lots of positions, and if they want to do the kind of stuff, the kind of work that men do, okay, fine. But, to come in and say, you've just got to give us equal rights with everything, it's kind of like, first of all, we're not equal. Just like the women going into the military. There's stuff in the military that women just are not physically built to do.
That's right.
And it's that way in every place.
Why did
things that women can't do that men are built to do?
Why did we, the taxpayers, put up with the balderdash of the politicians demanding on the left that we have Title IX money for all the girls' events and sports if they're going to come over and try to get into the men's sports anyway? This is a waste of money and time.
Well, it is. And, it's really sad because normally you think that the money is what drives many programs. And so if they have men's basketball and their audience pays for them to stay in business, okay, fine. If they have women's basketball and they can't get audiences enough to keep them in business, hello, do something different.
Yeah. I tell you what, every day it just seems like a zoo, and the animals have taken over the zoo, and I'm going to fight this as long as I can on this radio program. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about, well, there's many, but how dumb or how blinded and lack of hearing are the Hollywood elitists that they didn't smell this absolute garbage heap called Harvey Weinstein in their midst for many, many years. And how did he get away with all that he did for so many years without somebody literally out behind the back door? You know what I mean.
Okay, first of all, it boils down to what I said earlier about other things. Money is the bottom line. There were many, many people, and they're going to be coming out, and every day there's a few more that come out and say, well, yeah, we knew about this. And I was listening to a show a day or two ago, and they were playing some clips of people making jokes. I think it might have even been in award shows about Harvey Weinstein and, how he treated females and that type of thing. So Hollywood has known about this for a long time. They just chose to not make a big deal about it because Harvey Weinstein seemed to be the guy who is in charge of stuff. And we can't ruffle his feathers. And so instead of just saying, if that's the way he's going to be, somebody else ought to jump out there and get that kind of, opportunities for Hollywood people and scorn him and turn him away. It's the same thing with that Polanski guy. I mean, he was doing the same kinds of things, and now he's gone out of the country. They can't even prosecute him, and it sounds like that's the direction Weinstein's gone. But they knew. They were not willing to say, you know what, I don't have to put up with this.
But how dumb are the people like Hillary and Bill Clinton, and especially Barack and Michelle Obama? If the rumors were out there and then they let their daughter become an intern for this sleaze, I mean, I can't even imagine this.
Well, it's really sad. They were just happy to rake in his money, and in order to rake in his money, there were strings attached. And those strings came with, you just let me do my thing, and I'll keep paying you money, and as long as I'm the one making the decisions, and he was raking in money from other places so that he could buy politicians and everything else. So, it just, what comes around goes around, but they didn't care. It's all about the money.
I honestly believe, and I hope I'm wrong. I think that this guy is going to play the crybaby attitude of, oh, I need help, please help me, and I'll be a better person. And I think Hollywood is going to circle the wagons, and they're going to put up a fund called the Harvey Weinstein Fund. They're going to make a hero out of this bum and this sleaze. Honestly, I think he's going to come out of this.
Oh, I think he will, too. All you have to do is say, I have a disease, and it was just thrown on me by God, and I couldn't help it. It's just one of those things, and so I'll go into rehab and be made better, and everything will be wonderful again.
I know a certain kind of rehab he won't come out of. Anyway, we'll pass on that next subject. I want to talk about illegal aliens, sanctuary cities, and this has just gone now to the point beyond the pale of people, taxpayers, kids, families that are being subjected to crime and criminals that are here illegally, and many, many times repeat offenders. And that story I had on the first hour this morning about this illegal vermin climbing through a bedroom window and raping a 6-year-old girl and just destroying her life for the rest of her life. I know what I'd do with this guy, and it would be permanent. What are your thoughts?
Well, the thing of it is we've got a bunch of bleeding heart liberals who want to have a slave mentality in our country. And the illegals are the only way that they can do that, because any of the other people have access to education and everything else, and they can read history, and they can know what their rights are and that type of thing. When you don't have the knowledge, or you can't read, or you can't speak the language, you're at somebody else's behest to take care of you. And this is what they want. The Democrats want it. They want a slave people who will take care and do things for way less money. And even though we're going to give you way less money, we're going to give you all kinds of free stuff, food, shelter, clothes, vehicles. We'll give you medical care. You can just have everything, and we'll take care of you because we're your big brother. And this is what happens when the government steps into it. If the government were to just sit back and say, you know what? We have laws to take care of this kind of stuff. The laws need to be enforced. And if you are going to come to our country, you need to be here legally.
Yeah.
Whether you have a green card for temporary, being here, or for permanent being here.
Right.
We need to know who you are, what you're here for, and that you're not eating up our welfare benefits for people who need them. And until that happens, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And it's got so bad to where the Hollywood type people, and I think this starts in the blue state of California, in the blue state of New York, and then it bleeds over into other people who think they're being compassionate by saying, it doesn't matter if you're here illegal. We don't care. We won't get you out of here. And if you do something wrong, we're sorry, and we won't punish you. We'll just let you go ahead and do stuff. They can be deported and come in here several times. And we've seen that there have been victims from many people of these type of predators that have come in illegal, been deported several times, and they have to do something really, really serious, like killing somebody, before we hear about it. But we don't know all that other stuff that's going on out there, and it's really sad. People are going to be here. They need to come here legally, and we'll welcome you, and you just grow and become a part of our society. But if you're not going to, you don't have any business being here.
I'd like to be in the same room with the authorities and perhaps even that illegal alien vermin when they tell the parents of that 6-year-old girl, well, this is a sanctuary city and we have to abide by certain rights for him. I just can't imagine what those parents are going through, the duress and the stress and the worry for their daughter, but also the lack of justice. And I mean the total lack of justice.
Well, and that's the sad part of the whole thing is we're looking at what happened in the end. This didn't have to happen at all. And that's the part that makes you mad, is that it could have been avoided.
Yep.
But you just have a bunch of people that, think, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter, we should be able to do this and that and the other. It's the same thing with California trying to decide to declare themselves as a sanctuary state. Well, if you're going to do that, do it on your own dime, and let's see how long you stay alive.
Amen. I've got to get a weather forecast on here, Rita, and then I'm going to come back and I want to talk to you about, it's not a sports story, it's a respect story. We're going to go into that in just a moment. Right now, the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. These folks really provide the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, business consulting. Like I said, they do it all and can help you, your business. Please get a hold of them today. Burley and Rupert, Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Right now, here's the weather.
Today's going to be fairly decent, but tomorrow, not so much. Here is your weather forecast. Looks like sunny skies for today. It is going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts possible of 25 plus. High 54 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 31. Tomorrow, more clouds will be coming into the area and bringing along with it a chance of precipitation, rain and snow showers. As a matter of fact, 20% chance of showers in the forecast for tomorrow, high of 50. Tomorrow night, 40% chance of rain and or snow showers, especially up on the higher elevations, low of 29. And then for Saturday, still going to be sunny, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 45. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And they can help business owners wanting to maybe increase the size of their business and hire more employees, or they can help people starting a business or a partnership. Please get a hold of the best today. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, with offices in Rupert and Burley. Rita, the taking a knee or sitting down during our national anthem from the NFL has taken on a much larger and more dangerous connotation this morning, I think, with the NAACP getting involved and the threats from the supposed Reverend Al Sharpton and a complete divisiveness with black against white, black against ownership, black against authority. This thing is getting completely out of hand, and I'm going to just stand up and say this morning, I'm not going to watch any NFL games. I'm not going to support any NFL players and or teams until they act like a private business and tell their employees to shut up, stand up, and act like an employee, or we'll fire you and you can go work at any doggone convenience store you can find.
Well, that's just it. The owners have got to stand up and say, this is my business. I'm not going to have you working here. And they should be able to get attorneys to go through their contracts and find out that they have the authority to fire them for gross misconduct. That is gross misconduct when they're just asked to stand and be respectful. We're not asking them to go out on the field and make a declaration or anything. Just stand and be respectful. And the owners, it's kind of like, well, do these people who have all this money, do they not understand what it takes to be in business? You have to be the leader. You have to say, this is the way that we're going to do it. If you don't want to be part of our business, that's fine. You don't have to.
I don't care.
Stand up and say, this is my business, and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do it, fine. You can do it in your off time. You can do anything you want. But you're not going to do it when you're at work. The thing that's really sad about the whole thing is that CNBC reported Tuesday that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who defended the protests until it hit his pocketbook,
Yep.
is now planning a meeting to change the rules and specifically require players to stand. Why didn't they do this before it got out of hand? It was because it didn't hit their bottom line, which is the dollars.
You know,
they didn't really care anything about the fans or anything else as long as people were just throwing the money and throwing it at them. Well, remember when Target decided they were going to have the bathroom so that anybody could go anywhere they wanted and
right.
It didn't matter? People stopped shopping there, and all of a sudden it was kind of like, holy cow, we're in trouble. We need to make a separate bathroom for those who don't really know who they are, and they can go in there, and the women can go in one, and the men can go in the other. And once they did that, they got back on track. But it seems really funny that people don't have a moral compass until all of a sudden the bottom line, which is dollars, start staring them in the face, and they're going, oh, man, we're in big trouble.
I cannot understand how any TV network like ESPN can put up with the likes of Janelle Hill, who has made some outrageous statements and calling our President Trump a white supremacist, and others jumping on the bandwagon to absolutely denigrate the president, his family, and this administration, and then have someone the likes of Al Sharpton, Reverend, I don't think so, Al Sharpton, stand up in defense of Janelle Hill and say, we're going to fight the network and we're going to make sure that she gets put back on the air. This is evil. And what's happening in this country right now is a very divisive divide that's bigger than it ever was in Selma, Alabama back in the 60s. And it's being caused and created because of black race haters like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and others. And it's going to get worse.
Well, it is, and wasn't it ESPN who let the guy go that said something about, well, he has a little chink in his armor, kind of like that was a racist statement, and wasn't it ESPN who over the years has done the same with various other things for statements that they said were racist that weren't? Well, let me just tell you something. If ESPN has the problems that other people have with money, people will stop the Disney stuff because Disney is their home company. And until it starts harming Disney, ESPN is going to float. And they'll just let anything happen that they want. The worst thing that can happen to these television and producing companies and that type of thing is for people to stop spending money there. And that means quit watching their shows, quit watching the TV, don't watch the ball games, don't attend the ball games, the whole thing until they get the message. And if they want to go broke, okay, that's fine. We'll take up, like Jerry said earlier, I'll watch college basketball and football, and I'll watch hometown football and forget about the NFL. I was over to my dad's last weekend checking on him, and I was kind of afraid to ask him because he's been an old diehard for NFL. Since I was a kid, we always watched it together, and he loved it. I said, Dad, have you watched any NFL games lately? And I was kind of expecting him to kind of say, well, yeah. But he said, absolutely not. Those blankety blanks aren't going to get any support from me. I won't watch them again. If they can't be respectful of our flag and our veterans and everything else, I'm done with them. And he actually had, he gets Salt Lake stations. He actually had the high school football teams on that he was watching on Saturday, and I just thought, well, good for you, and that's exactly what I was hoping he would say.
Absolutely. You know, I'm almost out of time, but give me a short answer on this. Honestly, if Walt Disney were alive today or whatever, he would be turning over and just ready to jump out of a window, the way they have twisted the Disney Corporation from good and pure to vile and filthy.
Well, that's really right, and it's a shame that he's not alive, and it's also a shame that those who came behind him didn't say, it worked good for him, and it'll work good for us because we're going to continue on in the same path. That's the only way you stay afloat.
Absolutely. Wow, this time went way too fast. Rita Ramsey, thank you. God bless you, and I appreciate it. Look forward to next week.
Okay, thanks, Deb. See ya. Bye.
You bet. Bye-bye. Always enjoy having her on the program with me. Rita Ramsey, thank you very, very much. Wow. Okay, now, look at the clock, Zeb. Oh, I'm so hungry this morning. I really am. I've been really cutting back on everything and lost quite a bit of weight. But now when I got to talk about this next segment, I'm starving. And I know a great place to go if you're starving to death. Here are just a few that you can go to and enjoy. Like the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. All the pumpkin shakes, and they are delicious. And they got shakes in all flavors. And you got to try the chicken fried steak sandwich with the fries and the special sauce. Or my favorite, the famous Farmer Brown burger. Oh, delicious. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. How about let's move over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Pumpkin empanadas. Yes, pumpkin empanadas. Oh, my goodness. Along with breakfast burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, and cheese, onions, tomatoes, and sauce. Oh, great. And they've got the new pork burritos, too, at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Move over now to 2 locations of Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they got that spicy chicken combo. Includes fries and a drink, and it's only $5.99 after 3 p.m. And my goodness, they've got hot soup every day after October 30th. Hot soup every day. Delicious flavors, different every day. And they've got every Sunday at the Burley store shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Burgers, etc. Rupert and Burley. Well, let's jump on over and see what's happening at Steve-O's. I'm drooling. 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And my goodness sakes, you can download a free app on your smartphone, and you can order from Steve-O's without ever having to go there, and your order will be ready when you stop by to pick it up. Wow. And they got a new salad called the Chaos Salad, chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers. It's delicious. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. It's really, really good. Steve-O's, of course, great servers, super good food at 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And last but not least, we're going to jump on over to Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. Oh, one of those loaded Idaho baked potatoes with all the fixings every Wednesday during lunch. Those are good. And pizza and sub sandwiches and a great salad bar. What are you waiting for? It's easy to get to, right on the square in Rupert. Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. You stop in and see them today. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. I am. Anyhow, right now we're going to take a little break for about 7 minutes and the news with CBS, and then we'll come back. We've got Cassia County School Days, a whole bunch of other good things coming up. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I hope all is going well for you. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you right here in the Magic Valley. And, of course, a big fall tire sale going on right now. And also, we want to say thank you to one of our great advertisers, Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. By the way, too, we've been mentioning to you that you want to stay comfy and warm this winter. You better check out a Lennox Home Comfort System in your home, thanks to our friends and with our friends, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You could get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox Home Comfort System. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459. I know about a great big sale that's going to go on this weekend. It's going to be a fun deal with great auctioneers with the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Joe Bennett and his crew. It's going to be the Randy Mitchell Estate Sale. Going to start at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, the 14th, and it's located in the Twin Falls area, 2521 East, 3707 North. And look for sale signs. And from the Curry Crossing, go west of Twin Falls, go south 1.5 miles to Windmill Heights, and then look for all the sale signs. They'll get you right to the sale. This sale is going to have a lot of nice furniture and household items like a maple dining table with many chairs and leaves, and lawn and garden items like a Front Avenue barbecue with bottle, antique Anheuser-Busch beer steins, oh yeah, and shop equipment like a Briggs & Stratton 2500 power washer. I mean, all of this and more. Bennett Boys Auction Service, Joe Bennett, 539-0111. Great big sale this Saturday, the Randy Mitchell Estate Sale. You be there. What else have I got cooking here real quick? In just a moment, we're going to get all set to go to our Cassia County School Days, and I want to remind you that at 10:30 this morning we've got Dr. John Zamirik coming on our program, always one of our favorite guests, and he's going to be talking about guarding our borders with prayer. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Right now it's time for Cassia County School Days. And the two main sponsors of that segment are A Child's World at 1308 Overland Avenue in Burley, with all the scrubs, all the cribs, all the baby furniture. And you know something very important? They've got the #1 top-rated car seat for your youngsters by Chico. All of this and more at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue, Suite E in Burley. And the number to call and find out more how they can save you money on outpatient surgeries, 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, now bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And with us is the third grade teacher at Raft River Elementary School, Alex Reddy. Good morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Is the weather as nice and sunny and crisp over there as it is here?
It is. For once, we actually have the same weather as Burley. That never happens, so it's exciting.
Well, you live in a great area, and you've got some great students and a great school. And tell me about individualized learning. I mean, I want to find out more about this. What are you talking about?
Well, in my classroom, I have 28 kids, and I have kids that are on all different kinds of levels. I have some kids that are ready to read at a 5th, 6th grade level. I have some kids that are still learning some basic skills, which happens in every elementary school classroom. And I wanted to find a way to address all of my kids' needs that are on grade level or above, or below for that. And so I looked through and I figured out what resources could I come up with to make for math and reading so all kids can have their needs met. So I came up with stations, and my principal, Mrs. Luke, actually let me go and observe in Evanston, Wyoming, where they do something called blended learning, and that's differentiating instruction, which means kids are being taught on their level, and there's technology component as well blended in. So I have 4 different stations that run in my classroom for language arts and for math, and I'm able to reach all their kids on their level with what they need help with.
Okay. Now, let's break this down a little bit. Stations. Do you mean, could I possibly replace the word stations with groupings of students that are having the same dilemma? Or explain that a little bit.
They are, but each center or each part of my rotation has a different component. So they're in all mixed ability. They're in groups depending on their ability, and each group goes to the teacher table to work with me once. They go to an individualized spot where they're working on something they need to work on. They go to a computer component that's, again, they're working on a computer program that will help them with what they need help with. And then they get to work with a paraprofessional and they get to work on something else that they need as a group.
Okay.
So we're movers and shakers in third grade.
I like it. Movers and shakers in third grade. All right. Now, what happens if all of a sudden the light goes on and they say, Miss Reddy, I understand, and they go to a different level? Is that what happens?
Yeah, the way I made my stations is I put Velcro on the backs of my kids' names, so if they need to move a group, they move a group. And I talk to my kids and say, sometimes we move around, and it doesn't matter what group you're in. We're all learning at what we need to learn. So none of the computer screens look the same when they're on the computer center. And I said, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You're working on what you need to work on. They're working on what they need to work on, and it may not always look the same.
Do the kids feel, and I'm trying to remember way back, and this is when they used to circle the wagons when I was in school, but I'm trying to remember, did the kids feel maybe a little inhibited or embarrassed that if they're in a different circle than maybe perhaps what's perceived as the smart station?
Well, none of my kids know which group is a higher group and which kid's a lower group. They have no idea.
I see.
We all have different kinds of smart, and we're all smart in our own different ways. And there's always something someone struggles with. I struggled with math when I was in elementary school, and I tell my kids that I struggled with math, and it's something I didn't love. And I had to work really hard at it to get just to do what everyone else was able to do. And some kids it's reading, some kids it's writing. We all have our own things. No one's perfect at every single thing.
Alex,
that's something we need to improve on. No one is perfect in my classroom, and they all know that.
When you said just a moment ago that you struggled with math, you have no idea. I started smiling like a Cheshire cat because I found someone that I can relate to. I love you. I hated math in high school and grade school.
We actually got a new program in the district called Envisions, and it relates to Common Core standards. And it made me want to get my master's in teaching math. So now I actually have a master's in teaching mathematics for elementary school students because I realized that I wanted to be better at what I was doing.
Let me ask you this, and I have not really studied up on this subject as much as I should have, but I've heard teachers and I've heard people in education say to me off the cuff that really the new math teaching, etc., why don't they just go back to the basics and learn it from the ground up? 2 + 2 = 4, and go from that instead of trying to confuse the kids. What would you say to that?
You know, we are teaching 2 + 2 = 4. We are teaching those basic mathematical concepts, but we're also teaching ways to show it. The way math was taught when I was a kid, 1 in 5 kids understood really well. And the rest kind of just struggled. I knew how to do the formulas. I didn't know why I was doing the formula. And I didn't know what multiplication meant until I was in college. Now my kids know, when you multiply, the first factor tells you how many groups there are. The second factor tells you how many are in each group. So they can, if they're not sure how to solve the equation, they can model it. When I wasn't sure how to solve the equation, I sat there because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Where were you?
So it trains the kids on a way to think and a way to break a problem down if they need it.
I see.
We do hope to get them to memorize, but we have to give them some tools to get there first.
When you get to a higher level, I don't mean to keep pursuing this, but I've got some questions. When you get to a higher level of math, let's say like algebra or geometry or something like that, do the same rules apply as far as how to teach that?
Yeah, many rules are the same. I've had my kids actually, there was a problem that went on the internet a couple of years ago, and a parent emailed it to me. She said, well, which way do I do this? Everyone's saying it wrong. Which way do I do it? And I said, okay. And I gave my kids a quick step on how to do order of operations. Quick, like 2-minute lesson. I said, here, try it. My third graders were able to do a problem that we're stumping adults on the internet.
Wow, that's...
And it was a problem that I didn't learn how to do for probably 7th or 8th grade, but my third graders could do it. So...
When it comes to reading, I want to talk a little bit about reading. Due to the fact that I'm involved in a profession and have been for over 50 years, that you have to read, you have to articulate, you have to know how to pronounce, etc. Are we behind or ahead where we used to be years ago, and then all of a sudden it got sloughed off to one side? Are we coming back and really being proficient in reading skills today?
Right now, I think we're working on it. Some kids are working on decoding or trying to figure out what the words mean. I have some kids in my class that are annotating text. They're close reading it. They're highlighting, and we practice as a class. How do we read information in a text? How do we get information? How do we take notes? How do we do those type of things? And we're trying to give kids skills that they will use as an adult and in further education as well. But we're teaching how to read, but we're also teaching what does it mean when we read. How do we remember what we read? How do we make meaning of what we're reading? Because, I mean, when I was a kid, I could read the same passage 6 times, but if I didn't know what I was looking for, I didn't know what the answer was.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree, Alex, and I don't mean to pursue this either, but I think it's noteworthy that I think reading skills and comprehension skills have gone down since, let's say, the 1970s, and I wonder why. Why did it take such a dip?
I am not sure, and that the reason I am not sure is because I was not alive in the 1970s. So I don't quite know what it was from before I was alive to now. It's about a decade or two before I was born, so I wasn't quite there yet.
Well, you're making me feel more antiquish all the time, Alex.
I'm sorry.
But really, I think you would agree with me, though, is that I think you have seen, even though you're younger, you've seen the reading skills and the comprehensive skills of students. They just don't seem to put forth the same skills that they used to when I was in school. And I'm just kind of curious as to why. What changed in education so that they couldn't comprehend, they couldn't read, they couldn't understand? And I'm glad, really glad to hear that you're saying it's turning around.
I think the biggest thing was the set of standards that we were working on before. When you expect all students to, well, we're all going to pass the same test, we're all going to be on the exact same level, then kids are only going to get to that exact same level. I was a really good reader in school, and I really needed to be challenged, and I didn't get to be challenged until I was in high school with reading and writing because there just wasn't ways to teach all the learners that we had in our schools. So now we're focusing more on, okay, let's think deeper, let's get more in depth and care about what we're reading instead of, well, they can read, but why?
Yeah.
How does it help? So I think the Common Core Standards has helped a lot with that.
You've said one word that I absolutely want you to elaborate on, and that's the word challenge. I think that in my case, looking back, some classes were way too easy for me. I know that sounds funny, but yes, there were some courses that were too easy, and I sat there, I got bored, I didn't want to participate in the material because I knew it and understood it, but yet I got low grades in the class because it was way easy and a boring statement and a boring class to me. That happens, doesn't it?
It does. And I think a lot of that goes along in the elementary school classroom, specifically with engaging them and challenging them to do something. You've tried it one way, try it a different way. Expand your mind. I always tell my kids, show me your brilliance. Show me all the things that you can do. You tried it one way, crash and burn. Try a different way. It may fail, but grow your brain, stretch your mind, see what else you can do with it.
Wow. What other innovative ideas are you trying over there? I mean, man, you're exciting to talk to. It sounds like you're trying to invent the rocket ship to go to Mars.
Well, I'm trying to show my kids that they can do anything, and it may be hard at first, but you can do it. We can do hard things on a daily basis. We just may need to see it a different way or work on it a little bit more. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses, and I want my kids to know that.
Do they come to class with an attitude of, oh, gee, I wonder what she's going to make us do today? Or do they come to the classroom and say, wow, what are we going to do today?
Usually they're really excited, but that might be because I don't give them a choice not to be excited. We're doing it. If they don't do it, I make them do a dance to get excited about what we're doing. Because we need to be excited about learning. If they're not active and they're not engaged, then they're not going to learn very much that day.
I have a suggestion, and I got enthused just listening to you. Why don't you go to the Cassia County School Board and teach the other teachers how to get excited like you are?
Well, if they let me, I might.
I love it. I love it. Alex Reddy, you're welcome to come back on this program any doggone time you want to. Third grade teacher at Rafterville Elementary, and those kids of yours are blessed to have you. Thank you for being on the program this morning.
Thank you. Have
All
a
right.
good day.
Take care. Thank you. Wow. She's a fireball. I like that. I like that. And I want to say thank you to Debbie Critchfield. She's the Cache County Schools Communications Officer, and boy, she does a great job of lining up all these different segments and everything. Thank you very much. And, of course, A Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center are two major sponsors. Don't forget A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. They've got all the kids' toys and the clothing and the furniture and the puzzles and the games, everything at a family store, A Child's World. And then also for your outpatient surgeries like life-saving colonoscopies and carpal hand tunnel surgery and much more, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, 677-8888. Wow, interesting segment. Great teacher right there. Kudos to her. And right now, we're going to jump on the phone line if old Wheels says everything is all ready to go. And we're going to move over and talk to Amy at Autumn Haven. Good morning, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Zeb?
Man, I feel like I'm in a Texas whirlwind. I don't even have a chance to sit back and take a deep breath. Things are going fast.
Oh, that always happens, especially when the weather changes. It's been cool, isn't it?
Absolutely. Amy, tell us a little bit about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. I mean, I keep saying every day you are able to provide more one-on-one care for the people that live there and reside there. But really, what does that mean?
So it means that everybody's care is made for them. You know, everybody has different needs. Some people need help dressing, some people don't. Some people need some help with bathing, some people don't. So we personalize their care for each individual.
Okay. And people aren't going to know or realize about that one-on-one care unless they stop by or call for a tour, etc. And you're open and amenable to that all the time, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I encourage anybody in the community to come and visit Autumn Haven and see what we're all about. We are a 16-bed facility with private rooms and private bathrooms. It's a beautiful facility. We actually just switched over to the fall. We have all our fall decor, and I wanted to let the community know that on Halloween night, which is Tuesday the 31st, I encourage the community to come with their kids and come trick-or-treating at Autumn Haven. It's really fun, and my residents just love to see the kids from the community, and we have candy, and it's always a blast.
I hope they do, because, you know, one thing I never want to hear is that seniors or anybody needing that one-on-one care, they kind of feel like they're left out of the community. And that's one thing at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center you pride yourself on. You want to be involved in all kinds of different community events, don't you?
Absolutely. We always take an opportunity to take our seniors out and involve them in community events and anything that's happening. A lot of people come to Autumn Haven, performers. This is a great time of year. I encourage anybody who has singers, dancers, we welcome those at Autumn Haven. We love to have visitors, and we love to have performers. We love to see people's kids and just get them involved and have them come over and see Autumn Haven, the residents, and get a chance to get to know us.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about you, Amy. How did you get involved in Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center?
So I've worked for Autumn Haven for the last 6 years. And a year ago in July, myself and my sister-in-law, Angie Darrington, who is our administrator, we purchased Autumn Haven. And so I have totally switched kind of gears. I'm not just the nurse for the facility anymore. I'm also one of the owners and one of the managers of the facility. I have been involved in geriatric care my entire nursing career. I've been a nurse for 10 years, and I used to be a home health and hospice nurse. So I love the work at Autumn Haven because it just reminds me of my job when I used to do home health, and I love it there.
What if most people, like when they get to be senior citizens and maybe they've lost a spouse and maybe they're trying to stay at home alone, and I think that's dangerous, what do you tell them? I mean, how do you get them convinced that, hey, wait a minute, we've got a wonderful facility and you're not losing anything. As a matter of fact, you're gaining a lot of new friends.
Oh, absolutely. It is so difficult to leave your home. I would never tell somebody that it's not that it's an easy change, because it isn't. It isn't home. However, I've had some residents have moved into my facility and were very resisted. They were not happy about it. But once they realize that there is somebody available to them 24 hours a day for assistance, that puts a lot of comfort for the families and for the residents themselves to realize that they are in a safe place.
Let's talk a little bit about the facility itself. I mean, what do you have as far as amenities, and how can they be utilized? Give us a little thumbnail sketch.
So the facility, we provide all of the housekeeping, the laundry, services that are included, as well as everything that's called activities of daily living. So that would include dressing, bathing, feeding, any personal care. We have a hairdresser that comes into actually our facility and does the hair of the residents, and cuts and colors and perms. We also provide all the meals, all of the snacks. Most of our food is homemade, which I know the residents love that. We have excellent food at our facility. Our kitchen is open, so that's kind of fun. The residents get to see the cook in the kitchen. They get to smell the food as it's cooking. The cook is right there. They can ask for snacks, for drinks, for coffee, hot chocolate, those kind of things. It's a real home-like environment.
I love it. Listen, and it's in a great location, too. Tell us exactly where you're located and what hours you're open, and then if the public wants to stop by and take a tour, tell us how they can do that. Go ahead.
So we're located at 924 Christian Way, which is right next to the Minidoka Memorial Hospital. Our telephone number is 208-436-3200. We're open 24 hours a day since we're an assisted living facility. The best time to reach me is Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And like I said, I encourage anybody who has questions, who wants to see the facility, just come on down, and we are happy to show you around.
I love your attitude. I love your personality, and it sounds like the people are really happy there at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200. And the tagline that I've come up with, and I think you'll agree with it, they're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Right, Amy?
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Zeb.
Hey, take care. Have a great weekend, and come back soon and see us again on the radio, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you. Amy over at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. These are really, really nice folks that care. They really care. Wow. A lot of things going on this weekend. High school football in full force. I know that we're going to go to Dawson's game tomorrow night in Kimberly. I think they play Buell. I said that earlier. And if you've got relatives, grandkids, nieces, or nephews that are playing, get out there and support them this weekend. Going to be a good weekend for high school sports. We're going to send it back over to Old Wheels at the main studio for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to come back with my buddy John Zamirik on the program for the last segment this morning on Zeb at the Ranch. Take it away, Wheels.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And thank you very much for tuning in, staying with us all morning long. We appreciate it. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, and we're in our last segment. And I've had this gentleman on the program many, many times in the past and looked forward to the future. John Zamirik, and he writes for The Stream, and a very thought-provoking article called Poland Guards Her Borders with Prayer. A lot of what's in this article are very applicable to the United States. John, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thanks.
You know, John, give us a little thumbnail sketch of this article about Poland and other European nations guarding their borders with prayer. Give us a synopsis as to why you wrote this article.
Sure. 1.4 million Polish people went to pray all along the borders of their country. Think about that. That would be like 20 million people lining up along the Rio Grande in the United States to pray. A very powerful gesture. It was started by ordinary day-to-day Christians in the pews, who their bishops got in behind them, and they did a prayer service along the borders of their country. And they did it on the anniversary of a famous victory of Christians over Muslims, the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. Muslim fleets were dominating the Mediterranean, kidnapping thousands of Christians, many of them women, to sell as sex slaves, just like ISIS is doing today. And the Battle of Lepanto helped put a stop to that and helped prevent the Muslims from
taking over Western Europe, as they tried to again at the siege of when they besieged Vienna in 1683. And in 1683, it was a Polish army that came in and saved Europe from being dominated by Islam in 1683. Interestingly, Poland lost its nationhood 100 years later. Its borders were erased from the map. But when Poland came back into existence in 1918, within 2 years it took Poland to save Europe again. Most people don't know about this, but in 1920, the Soviet Army, the Red Army, led by Leon Trotsky, was invading Western Europe. He wanted to go through Poland and take over Germany and France. And those broken countries in the wake of World War I might well have fallen to communism. We might have had a communist Europe in 1920, except, again, the Polish army stopped the communists, and they did it on a special Christian feast day, the Feast of the Assumption of Mary, and over the battlefield, thousands of Polish soldiers saw an image of Jesus' mother urging them to fight the godless communists. Powerful, powerful history Poland has. And then the 1980s, what brought down communism? A Polish trade union working with the Polish Pope. So I see hope today that Poland might stand up to the European Union, its attempt to flood every nation in Europe with thousands of aggressive Sharia-supporting Muslims, 90% of whom go directly onto welfare, have a bunch of kids, and will vote in Muslim governments in the future unless they are stopped. Right now, the European Union is demanding that Poland admit thousands of Muslim I call them colonists. They're like the Europeans showing up and taking land from the Indians. That's what's happening. And our leaders are selling us out just the way some Indian chiefs took booze and blankets from the white man and sold out their land. The European Union is also demanding that Slovakia, Hungary, all these countries that were victimized by communism, it's demanding that they admit all these Sharia supporters, which is just another totalitarian system. The EU is also demanding that Poland legalize abortion. It's trying to stop it from purging holdovers from the communist government who is still sitting in the courts for 30 years later. The EU is really trampling all over Poland's national independence. And Poland, having been invaded by the Soviets, invaded by the Nazis, occupied for hundreds of years, they're not going to put up with it.
You know, John, it was really a great dissertation that you took us through just a moment ago. But you know, and it's true, many, many people of the left are claiming that Christendom is dead in Europe, that Christianity is gone. It's a doormat now to everything else. But you're talking about the other side of the story where the power of prayer, especially with the Polish folks, it really is still alive and very well.
Well, yeah, I mean, who would have thought that the communist empire would collapse peacefully? When I was in college at Yale, the fashionable thing was to be for sort of moderated communism. The fashionable thing was to think that Eastern Europe would become less dictatorial, Western Europe would become more socialist, and the countries would the two sides of Europe would sort of merge in a quasi-socialist continent that was open to the Soviet Union. People talked about Finland, how Finland was not a communist dictatorship, but it was subservient to the Soviet Union on foreign policy. And they said, maybe Finland is the model we're going to have to take for Western Europe. It's the only alternative to nuclear war. Ronald Reagan, John Paul II, Margaret Thatcher, Lech Walesa all said no. This is an evil empire, and it must come down. And it did. The power of prayer played a major role in that. I think if John Paul II had not been elected Pope, or if that Muslim who tried to assassinate him, if he had succeeded, or if Ronald Reagan had died in the assassination attempt, if any of those things had gone a little differently, the bullets had gone a quarter of an inch in a different direction, we might still be looking at half of Europe under communism.
You know, John, there's the headline, if you will, leading into another paragraph of your story that really caught my attention, and I'd like you to elaborate on it. It says, borders are godly, so ask God to protect them. Well, John, today we have the insidious left that is out there trying to preach that tear down the borders, we're all world's people, we can go anywhere we want to, etc. Why did you say borders are godly, so ask God to protect them?
Precisely because people like Pope Francis and a lot of American bishops are trying to erase America's borders. Borders are essential. They allow a democratic government to exist. We have traditions in America that are different from the traditions in Mexico. They don't want us going down there en masse and taking over and imposing English on them, imposing our mores and values on them. In fact, it's illegal for foreigners to own property or businesses in Mexico. Mexico knows about preserving its national identity. In fact, they used to shoot illegal immigrants from Honduras and El Salvador. Now they just arrest them and imprison them. So other countries know that borders are essential to democracy, to self-determination. It's like, if you think borders are not important, I want you to take the doors off your home. Let anyone who shows up live in there. That should help you understand and appreciate the importance of borders.
You know, John, when you think about this, no borders, open to everybody, I've often said on my radio program, okay, everybody goes helter-skelter all over the world, literally. Who are going to be the taxpayers to help support a government if there is a government, and you're looking at total chaos and total human misery in the long run? Am I wrong?
In the short run, look at the race epidemic in Sweden, in Germany. They're telling women in Sweden, don't go out at night. Imagine that. Just don't go out at night. We can't protect you from the Muslims we've imported in this country. Maybe you should wear more modest clothing. Maybe you need to dress more like a Muslim woman because you're being too provocative wearing like shorts and a T-shirt. Because now our country is full of intolerant Muslims who think it might be okay to rape you if you dress that way.
John, we have a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller. Please, you're on the air. Please.
Well, sovereignty of people and sovereignty of a group of people creates a sovereign nation. So freedom of God-given rights are given from God, of course, and we all should know this. But you see, if we don't want to maintain our God-given rights, then we will lose them. And then we will be held accountable by our Heavenly Father for why He blessed us with much is given, much is expected. And when we are so distracted from whatever it is other than what really matters, then we will suffer the consequences, whether or not it be now or be later. Thanks.
Respond to the caller if you would, John.
We have an obligation to preserve that freedom for our children. How dare we? We inherited this great country with these amazing freedoms, this amazing prosperity that has benefited people of every ethnic background. Do we not pass that on to our kids? Do we give our kids a broken down, chaotic country afflicted by political extremism, socialism, Sharia, terrorism? I mean, God will hold us accountable for whether we were good stewards of what we got. Remember the gospel parable about the master who gives talents to the servants and sees how they invested them, and the one who just buried it in a yard, he takes it away and throws them into exile? I think too many Americans are burying our talent, our tradition of freedom and public order and law-abiding citizenship and democracy. We're treating all that like a rental car. We just don't care how much we ding it up because it's not ours anyway.
John, what do you think about the current administration and naturally Donald Trump himself is our president and the border situation and what he's trying to do, what he's trying to stop coming across, the border wall, etc.? Are you happy with what this administration is trying to achieve, even though the left and the Democrats are standing in the way every step that he takes?
I'm encouraged by the most recent noises I've heard from the White House that in return for cutting a deal on the so-called dreamers, the illegal immigrants whose parents smuggled them in when they were kids, in return for that, he's going to demand some serious border security. He's going to demand serious measures to make sure that we don't have to do this again, that we don't have to do another amnesty and another amnesty and another amnesty, till finally we're just like California, the northernmost state of Mexico.
What about the fact that we're not watching, we're not learning, and we're not observing what's going on in Europe with the Muslim problem, the infiltration of the refugees, etc.? Why are we not learning? Because what happens in Europe, I honestly maintain, is going to happen here in a short order. But it seems like our politicians just poo-poo it and are not open with their eyes and not hearing with their ears.
Well, I think Obama showed us that Europe is America in 10 years. And what Obama did was move America 10 years closer to being like Western Europe. A big, bloated socialist government, constantly infiltrated by terrorists, taken advantage of by foreigners, soaked for money, for welfare money, unable to defend itself and ashamed of its traditions and its own heritage.
It's not a very pretty picture, and you write about this all the time. Is there still hope, John, with prayer and also some honest appreciation of the values of America?
Absolutely, there is hope. I mean, this election was practically a miracle. We almost got Hillary Clinton as president, and I tell you what, I don't think there would have been much hope then. I really don't. If she'd been packing the courts, you would have seen Christians being punished for their religious beliefs all around the country. There would have been no hope on the front of the rights for unborn children, religious liberty, marriage. This was a very important election. And I was not a big Trump fan. I supported Cruz up through the convention. But once it was a choice between Clinton and Trump, I don't think we had any choice but to support him. We should criticize him when he makes mistakes. I think Ann Coulter is right to publish a weekly update on the progress of the border wall, and so far not one square inch has been built. But I think we should be critical but supportive of the president. He needs pressure from the right because he's constantly under pressure from the left.
And I also would add to this, and I'd like you to expand on it, we need the power of prayer. I still maintain the power of prayer is maybe the key to unlock the door to making this country great again.
Well, that's right. It's what freed Poland from communism. Think about that. Think about the extent of that. It might bring down communism in China.
John, I appreciate your...
Power of prayer is what stopped Europe from being conquered by Islam over and over again. It helped bring down the Nazis, I think.
Absolutely.
At one point, it looked like the Nazis were going to win World War II. You know? Evil can go very far in this world, and we have to invoke God's help to stop it in its tracks.
Amen. Amen. John Zmirak, excellent article, great conversation. John, you're welcome here anytime. God bless. Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Very thought-provoking, and I've said for a long time, the power of prayer. And in many personal stories in my life, one just recently, I can really appreciate the power of prayer. Right now, let's get our weather forecast on here. Oh, my goodness, and it's brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road in Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657, or if you have a computer, go to their website and just, oh, my goodness, all the delicious meats in their retail meat department, you can check it out at scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, my goodness, every single day, they've got happy, satisfied customers, and they're waiting to serve you at Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Today's going to be fairly decent, but tomorrow, not so much. Here is your weather forecast. Looks like sunny skies for today. It is going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts possible of 25 plus. High 54 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 31. Tomorrow, more clouds will be coming into the area and bringing along with it a chance of precipitation, rain and snow showers. As a matter of fact, 20% chance of showers in the forecast for tomorrow, high of 50. Tomorrow night, 40% chance of rain and or snow showers, especially up in the higher elevations, low of 29. And then for Saturday, still going to be sunny, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 45. That's your weather for Zeb at the Range.
And Gina, thank you. Brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrow's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrow's Meats. Woo! I got an opening for a couple of minutes to give a chance for you to call. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about, and give me a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I was going to mention earlier this morning, I was talking about, and I even hate to put the terminology reverend before his name because I find him to be one of the most despicable race haters and baiters in this country, and that's Al Sharpton. That now even the NAACP is becoming involved with the NFL players and their kneeling and disrespect of our American flag. I stated I will not watch the teams that let their players take a knee during our anthem. I won't do it. I won't support them. I wished I could get a Nielsen survey call, and I'd let them know, would I let them know what I think of these NFL players. But now the NAACP is getting involved, and other people of color are getting involved, like ESPN's Michael Wilbon, pardon me, I said his name wrong. And they're starting to call Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, President Trump, they're starting to call them different names like plantation owners, slave owners, etc. This problem is going to be exacerbated because nobody knows the line as to where to shut up. Right now, the line's been crossed. The black athletes that are taking a knee, the black athletes that are kneeling during our anthem, the black athletes that are condemning our police forces across the United States, which at the same time they're on that knee or standing less than 12 feet behind them, are police officers to protect them in case they need protection. But it's so easy for them to jump into the oppression mood and say that, I'm being oppressed. The police officer, he stopped me for speeding the other day. Woe is me. I have had enough of this, and I hope that somehow through prayer, whatever, cooler heads prevail, because now this thing is getting completely out of hand to the point where it is a race-divisive civil war, black against white, that's being fueled by the idiotic left. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, yesterday on YouTube, and I don't know if this is true or not, Zeb, but they were talking about black athletes who were dogging it and in protection of their white quarterback. Now, I don't know if there's any proof of this, but you see as well, you know as well as I do, effort on the field is hard to measure. And you see, if this is true, then, this kind of destruction of the team effort is unforgivable if you're an owner and a fan. And you see, if they destroy this product to the point everybody I talk to is just turning off the NFL games. And it doesn't matter how many times they have shows analyzing it or after the show or everything. It's so overplayed that we're almost just sick of it, and we may just go out and go hunting.
Well, wait a minute, Randy.
I hate to see the destruction of an American icon like NFL.
I do too, but let's talk about that a little further. If you'll remember, not too many years ago, the NFL was in bad straits and they had to bring in replacement players and literally form replacement teams. Remember that, Randy?
Yes.
All right, why not do it now? I mean, if I were Jerry Jones, if I were any owner of any pro team, and they don't want to play by my rules, they don't want to play by respect and act with integrity, standing on the sidelines representing my team during the national anthem, I would issue an edict and say, boys, don't let the doorknob hitch in the posterior on the way out. We're going to form another team, bring up members of the taxi squad or whatever, and we're going to put a team on the field, not you, a lot cheaper, more economical, deal. Goodbye. You've lost your contract. I think that rules have to be followed. Regulations have to be followed. Private business has to be followed with integrity of these owners putting up the money. And it's high time they looked these players in the eye and said, you selfish damn prima donnas, sit down, and when I tell you to sit down, and stand up when I tell you to stand.
Well, that's the thing, see? The opportunity has been created by an American society that is free and capitalism. An owner of a football team is a free market capitalist.
Well, wait a minute. You've got a business, right?
Makes sense. Go ahead.
You got a business, don't you, Randy?
Yes.
You've got employees that work for you, right?
Yes.
You've got rules and regulations they have to follow because you're the boss, right?
Right.
You write the paychecks, right?
Yes.
Who's running the boat? You or them?
I am.
All right? The same is true with this business with the NFL. Jerry Jones can be called names until they're blue in the face, but these players better realize if they want to drive that Porsche into the gas station and fill it up, that money comes from this man that's employing him.
Yeah, and the people that buy advertising and go to them games, and on a majority, those are pretty conservative people. That a lot of them, the overwhelming majority of them, voted for Trump because people who like this kind of free market activity are also hard-working people. And when they see a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who seem to have been distracted from what they're supposed to have been doing and have been losing games they should have never lost, you know what's going to hit the fan.
I am so sick and tired of these crybaby, overpaid, underworked athletes saying, well, I've got a story. Oh, my dad was oppressed. My dad left home. My dad's in jail. Well, the reason he's in jail is he broke the law, for heaven's sakes. And I'm sick and tired of saying, well, how come there's so many of us in jail? Well, because you're not doing things on a legal basis. But the whole thing boils down to the employer and employee relationship. I work for the employer. He pays me my wages. And if you don't do what he says, you're fired, and the doorknob's going to hit you in the butt on the way out the door. That's the way it should be.
Well, it's the way it's got to be, because that's what makes a product that is worth watching. And right now we're watching some sort of distracted, deluded thing that, I'm telling you, it's a joke.
I agree. Randy, I really appreciate you calling in and a good discussion on this. Thank you, my friend.
Have a nice weekend.
I will, buddy. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. Doing the right thing matters. Boy, I'd like to send that to these athletes. Doing the right thing matters. It always does at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They have got the tires on sale right now that you need for safe fall and wintertime driving. Stop in and see them today. And remember, like I've always said, there's so many other things to check on, like the brakes to make sure if they're functioning properly. They've got the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. And I stress the fact you don't want to go outside on a cool, cold fall morning or winter morning, turn the key and it goes click, 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 click. Make sure you got a good battery. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, the best. Doing the right thing does matter at all 7 locations of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I'm going to leave now. Got everybody riled up, so we're going to take off for the week. And I hope you have a God-blessed weekend. Enjoy, and we'll be back here Monday at 8:06 with more Zeb at the Ranch, where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be. Take care, everybody. Bye. We'll see you later.